Hey, how fit is your marriage? Summer is here, or at least it's coming pretty quickly, and we want to find out how fit your marriage is, and we've got the perfect couple to really go into it with you.
Stay tuned.
It's about to get crazy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point you realize you married into crazy. And that's what our show is all about. If your marriage or relationship is compassionate, real, accountable, zealous and yielding, or just plain crazy, Snooks and Lovey offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as they unpack this thing called marriage. Sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy E.T. Look, if you're looking to or you got to raise the bar on your marriage, you gotta click the link and get into Married into Crazy, y'all. I'm telling you, this coaching is gonna take your relationship to another level. Now look, you already know you need to raise the bar. You know that already. So stop thinking or overthinking. Click that link, and Marriage into Crazy is going to take you and your spouse to marital bliss. Now you know. Click the button. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey.
I'm Snooks.
And I'm Lovey. And as always, we appreciate you coming back and listening or watching the podcast, however you're downloading it, because you have a lot of choices. There's a lot of different things that you could be doing right now, but you've chosen to do something, invest a little bit of time into your relationship, into your marriage. And as you know, we talk about all things marriage. Mm-hmm. So many different things. We also love to bring you subject matter experts as well as an occasional couple that puts a little spin on marriage, you know, kind of talking about the very unique perspective. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get into that in just a little bit because we've got a very special couple for you this evening. Mm-hmm. But before that,
we want to make sure that you subscribe and review at YouTube or wherever, just watch us. I prefer that you listen more than you watch because sometimes my facials don't be looking like they supposed to look. Lovey likes to talk about it after the fact. We got to have a long board meeting, but it is what it is.
I want everybody watching YouTube. No, and it's a lot more fun. You get to see people. There's something about being almost across from one another. But if you're listening, we love that as well. But also, if you want to find out all the different ways that we attempt to actually bless your marriage, go to marriedintocrazy.com. And you can see all the different things that we do, whether it's going to be the store so you can get some of the gear, so you can let everybody know how crazy your marriage is. Raise the Bar, our self-paced program that you can take a look at if you're not quite ready for the couple-to-couple coaching. And of course, there is the couple-to-couple coaching. You can always book a discovery call through the website, and we'll just set up a conversation, 15 minutes, absolutely free, just to chop it up and see if we can be of any service to you whatsoever.
If we're a good fit, and if you're a good fit for us. So
absolutely. So we also want to give you a heads up. By the time you see this, the book, Out of Order, is going to be available on Amazon. So go to Amazon and check out the book, Out of Order, where both Snooks and I are featured authors. We each penned a specific chapter talking about our journey as it pertains to grief, hope, and the road that we're on for healing as well. So go ahead, I'm not going to belabor that, but go ahead and check that out as well. But without further ado, we'd love to introduce our latest couple that's coming on. We want to bring on Terrence and Davina Hansard. How are you doing?
Hi.
Doing wonderful, blessed.
Davina's waving. We need sound too, girl.
She said hi. She's like, hi.
No, hey, we wanted you. So here's the thing. So Terrence and Davina, how long have you two been married?
It'll be
8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
8 years. It'll be 8 years going on 9.
Fantastic. So we want a lot of things that we want to do.
First of all, I just want to know. I don't know if you ever noticed this, but every time we ask a couple how long they've been married, everybody's like everybody should know. That's the first thing you should know. Like that.
It seems longer.
And that's a good
That's
thing.
a good thing, right? That's a good
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
It seems longer, effortless but longer.
Aw, that's
It's
so
just
sweet.
flowing.
Do you say that?
That's a good answer. That's good. No, I just tell him low. It feels like an eternity. That's what I say.
Effortless. I love that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, he's good. He's got some words.
Wow.
I'm gonna have
Look
to
at
write
him.
that one down.
No,
Fellas,
yeah.
take notes.
Effortless.
Take notes. Terrence is showing us how to get out of the doghouse. No, so tell us how you two actually met. So it's been 8 years. How did you two come together as a couple?
Ladies first.
Well, I'll take you back to the very, very beginning of when we first met, which was, I don't know, a long time ago, years.
At the club.
We were both at the club. I was with my friends. I don't know who he was with, whatever. I don't know. But we met. I think we may have had a dance,
We had a dance, exchange numbers.
and that was it.
That was it, because it wouldn't have worked back then. That's when I was party top. It was trouble. It was trouble then. That's the club guy.
Okay.
The club version. That was Terrence 1.0.
It wasn't even Terrence, man.
That was T-Top.
That's T-Top. I end up in the club, I'm dancing. All of a sudden, the shirt come off, and you're on the middle of the dance floor.
Oh,
That's
wow.
to be that era.
Well, I don't know what happened, but I didn't call him, and he didn't call me. So that's that, right? So moving fast forward, years later.
I was going to ask, how many years?
Years later. I don't know, a long
It was
time.
a long
everybody.
time.
And I think I had ran into him again on a cruise.
Super Bowl cruise. Carnival.
What?
The Carnival Super Bowl cruise.
Yeah, and we just seen each other in passing, literally just seeing each other, like walk past each other. And I remember just looking at him, but just kept moving. And so did he. Kept moving, right? So that was that. Keep going. Fast forward again. That had to have been maybe a couple of years later then. I got a phone call from a friend of mine, just out the blue. And she was just like, you remember that guy with the good hair that you used to think was so cute? And I was like, who? And she was like, I think they call him T-Top or something. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember him. And she said, if I'm being honest, she was like, I heard he getting a divorce. And I was like, what? I didn't even know he was married, right?
Right.
So I was like, oh, well, okay, good to know, I guess. So when I see him, I guess it's cool, right? But I'm just like laughing because, again, I didn't even know he was married at that point. So then she was like, I said, how you know all of this? And she was like, she was on a cruise with one of his friends, and they just was chopping it up, talking and stuff. And the friend was
Richie Rich.
Richie Rich.
Richie Rich.
So she said they were just talking and just, she said, you guys would be like a good fit for each other. And I'm like, oh, really? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, can I give him your phone number? And I was like, I mean, I guess, And shoot, that was it. I think the next day I got a phone call.
Yeah, I called pretty quick, but I was like, send me a picture. So she sent me a picture, and it didn't look like the woman I had met back in the day. So
I don't know if was that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, it was a good thing. She had so the picture she sent me, she looked taller and had a short cut. And I was like, nah, I remember, can you send me a picture, an older picture? So she sent me a picture with her when she had long hair, because when I met her that time at Kimball's Carnival, she had on leather jacket, long hair, some little boots and jeans. I know exactly what she had on because she was walking through that thing with confidence, But so she sent that. Once she sent that picture, it was on and popping. We started dating from then on.
Yeah, from that moment I was talking to him every day, like every day.
Wow. So do you feel like it was fate? I mean, because this is 3 times, right?
Well, I'll say the special thing that kind of happened is, if you want something different, you got to take a different approach. And we had a lot of dates. We met up. We always met up at places and went our separate ways every time after the date. We didn't start cohabitating until after the divorce was final. And that's one of the things that I respect most about her is that, you know, she was like, we ain't nothing happening. We ain't taking it to no levels until that paperwork is signed and finalized. Because a lot of times, you know, people, you know, they just, I don't know if we want to go down that rabbit trail, but people don't wait for that proof, for that finalized ink to be signed.
Right.
And just move forward. So that was a big respect thing.
I think basically during that time, it was just being friends, you know, just getting to know each other, just being friends. I mean, I wasn't trying to, you know, I was like, because anything could happen, you know, they could rekindle. I don't know what's going on, you know, I only know his side of the story. I don't really know what's going on, you know.
Right.
But he was really honest about everything. And like he said, we used to just meet up at different spots like restaurants or go have lunch. It was never like an overnight stay or none of that kind of stuff, ever. I would drive my car, he would drive his, and then we would go our separate ways. And we did that for a long time until he showed that paperwork.
She's like, show me the paperwork, homie.
Right.
But you know what? So my question is that there was a growth factor that took place, right? Because you said that when y'all first met, she didn't meet Terrence, she met T-Top. And then
Party T-Top.
Party T-Top. Because I imagine there was lots of different T-Tops, depending upon the situation. But when you guys continue to move on, what was the difference between T-Top and then now you're in a spot? Look, you went from being the guy, like you said, in the club, shirt coming off, doing what you do, to I'm going to respect her and wait until the paperwork is done. Wait till this is finalized. That's a major mindset shift.
For me, you know, you get to a point where you go through different relationships and they always end at the same point. And if you want something different, you got to take a different approach. So I went with the terminology when I talk to people about it is, if you want temporary, you want temp to perm, or you want permanent. You're gonna have more interviews. You're gonna have more interviews for a permanent position than you are a temporary position.
That's right.
So I wanted that permanent position. So
he interviewed me.
I interviewed her. She was talking to her cousins, her pastors. He asked me all these questions. Was establishing the bylaws, man.
That is so funny.
So how long did it take to go from the interview? How long was the interview process up until you two actually said I do?
About a year, at least a year.
Until we said I do? Or until, what now?
Yeah, until you said I do. Till you said, okay, we're 8 years ago.
Until you get married, baby.
Till you got married.
About a year and a half, maybe. Maybe a year and a half, because we was kind of talking before the paperwork got filed. Then we had to wait 6 months for the paperwork to be finalized, and then got that kind of taken out the way. Then was able to move forward from there. So it might have been a year and a half, maybe a year.
So, but by the time the paperwork and everything was filed, you already knew that this is the one?
Oh yeah, I had already shut down because, in between, I was still,
He was still doing his thing.
I was doing my thing. I had to have a conversation. I had friends. So once I knew that I was going to move forward and take that step, I started cutting off the strings, cutting off attachments and stuff like that. So
that's good.
Just that people I consider friends. No, we can't be friends.
So you talked about you developed a friendship first, and we think that's so crucial because a lot of times people ask, how do you keep it alive? And we had just talked about recently at a marriage conference about how one of the biggest things you can do is because life be lifing, and there's times where you fall in love, fall out of love, or not so much out, but it's just not as strong because life is messing with you. You got to have that friendship to fall back on. And so what did you two discover as commonalities in your friendship? Like the things that you truly love to do, either together at the same time, or but you both had an interest in that kind of helped your friendship grow?
Food. No, that is weird because we kind of like, well, I'll say she kind of adapted more to my lifestyle when it comes to activities and doing outside stuff. And I adapted a little bit to the things she liked to do, not as much. She'll go to every concert every week if it was possible.
So she loves the concerts. But I don't know. I see y'all doing a lot of stuff fitness wise. Like, it seems like
Well,
she loves to hike.
yeah, I'm gonna say this. When I got with him is when I got more active in those areas. I like it, but not as much as he likes it. So, sometimes I'm just going with the flow. You know what I'm saying? But it's my thing now because now it's kind of like a lifestyle type thing. But at first it was just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna do it because this is what he want to do. Then it grew on me, but it's not. This is his passion. He loves this stuff.
So you didn't ever see the benefits in it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's the benefits in it.
So when you're talking about the benefits and everything, lifestyle, we didn't really talk about like the type of lifestyle that you all have. So if y'all don't mind sharing, like what it is that you do that you're very passionate about, let the listeners know.
You want to go first? You want to go first? Well, I'm extremely passionate about health and fitness, and like my brand, Livin Proof 365. I live it 365 days a year. So, and I'm a strong believer of health and fitness because we do all this hard work. We want to travel. We want to be mobile when we travel. We want to be mobile daily. We want to be active as long as possible. So, and we also want to enjoy good food. So, you got to earn what you burn and burn what you earn. And I mean, I'm just passionate about it. I compete in bodybuilding. My wife has competed in bodybuilding. And I enjoyed the process. She liked the process.
I what?
Liked the process.
No, I hated the process. I did not like it at all.
Oh, let's get into that.
I hated the process. But I'm going to say my passion is I like to eat. I like sweets. I like foods. I just like to eat. So working out to me is a must, right? Because I like to eat a whole bunch of nonsense. So that keeps me in the gym.
And you like fashion, so you like to look super fine.
Okay.
That's a given though. My sis got it going on. It's a given.
The compliments. Yeah, it's so funny. If audience, if you could listen, or not even listen, if you could see some of their social media, and when they're posting pictures of whether it's hiking, look, at the end of a hike, I would be sweaty, looking like just a mess. They taking photo ops. They're doing photo shoots. Whoever's got control of the camera, y'all always have like the right angles.
That would be me.
See, yeah, Davina, I mean, I think your hidden passion or talent is in photography because you be coming up with some pics. Mm-hmm. They look pretty amazing. It might take
me about 4 or 5 shots, but I get it.
4 or 5? You mean 10?
That's all right. So let's go back to the bodybuilding. So you said you've both competed.
Yes.
So first, I want to know. So, has this always been a passion of yours, like the whole time that you're growing up, bodybuilding, and what actually got you into it?
For me, it was a different challenge. My passion has always been football through high school and college. But I didn't choose going down that path. It happens. Sometimes you take a different route. So I turned that into personal training, and to be a personal trainer, I feel like you gotta remain fit Just like, in your case, y'all the marriage experts, so you gotta stay married, stay fit in marriage.
That's right.
Gotta stay married.
Gotta stay married. Gotta stay in marriage shape. And
That
that's
part.
crazy. That's crazy.
True.
But I used to do Spartan races, which is more of an endurance and more of a mobile thing. It's different from bodybuilding, so it kind of tears your body down a different way and builds it up in a different way. But they both will shape you differently. But I enjoy the bodybuilding.
So
You know,
I've seen those Spartan.
Cheers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go, Davina.
no, I was gonna say, what I've learned about myself through doing all of this stuff, Spartan races, working out with him, bodybuilding, running, marathons, 5Ks and things like that, is that I am very competitive. So I hate the process, or I hate doing it, but I do it because I don't want to fail at it. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Mm-hmm.
She'll get out there and leave somebody too. She'll be acting like she can't run, and all of a sudden she dusting.
Sounds personal.
I'm all she's sneaky.
She could zone out. So if she zone out, she very strong and very athletic. And if she zones out and just kind of focuses on that, she can do anything when it comes to kind of competing. I've seen her do different things.
So did you just get into it also because Top was already involved in it, or were you kind of like, that might be something that I might be interested in doing?
Well, I
That
would
laugh
say,
told it all. So
yeah, it was more so like, okay, since he's doing it, I'm gonna do it, right? But when I think back to like kind of in the beginning of us, we would spend a lot of time in the gym together, and to me that was fun. It was different. It was something I had never did or had never had that with anybody else or anything. So us being in the gym working out together was like dating. It was fun, and we were getting work in. So it kind of just spilled over, to that's just what we do. But
And we had when we was doing Spartan, we had a team. So it was probably about 8 of us, 6 to 8 of us, and we would travel and do the races. So it was a lot of fun going on.
Yeah.
We go to Hawaii, go to Monterey, go down to Patterson, Seattle, different locations to do the races as a team. Eat good food, sweat, get in mud, all that type of stuff.
I saw her smile. I saw Davina smile when you said food, and then when you said mud, she winced.
Because that was oh my God, the mud and the water.
Yeah, if we had some of those videos, that'd be classic. Y'all, Lord.
That's funny. Well, I've done a Spartan race, so I know what you mean. Getting down there, crawling underneath the barbed wire, all that.
Yeah.
and I've seen one, and I know that I'll never do it. So yeah, hats off.
I was always the weakest link when it came to going through that water, going underneath the water. It was horrible. Every race.
Well,
That is so funny.
But I think there's a lot of parallels here when it comes to marriage because, Davina, you had mentioned how when you guys were developing your friendship and you said that he was more passionate about the fitness, this, that, and the other. And so we talked about hiking, all that. You said you kind of picked it up, but it's interesting how that's that compromise piece, right? And crazy, the Y stands for yielding. And it seems like you didn't stop being Davina. You just said, oh, let me pick up a couple of these other things. It's interesting. We had fun. But now it's become a big part of what you do as well. Now, you said you worked out together in the beginning, but do you still work out together?
Ooh, now that has changed because in the beginning it was fun, it was cute, it was sexy, now it's like it's a whole different dynamic now.
We gotta save our sanity. Cause she be like, let me tell you. She be like, you talking to me mean? Why you talking to me like that? And I'm giving her instructions. She ain't paying attention to the instructions. And then I could be sitting there watching her with another trainer, and they giving her instructions. She's sitting there like, okay, Yeah, just real polite, you know. So, and it's like, wait a minute, I do the same thing.
I'm gonna say, hats off to you because I, for one, know Lovey and I cannot work out together. I don't even want him to be in the room when I'm working out. I don't want him walking up the stairs when I'm working out because he will always find something like, oh, you probably should be squat down a little bit more. Are you sucking in your stomach when you do that? I'm like, bruh, you are not my trainer, number one. So I'm gonna need you to carry on because we know that that's not a thing that we know our strengths and workouts together. That is not one of them at all.
I just feel like his delivery, maybe in the beginning, we were new and fresh, so he was being really nice, and now it's just like, man, you gonna finish your set? Come on, do this. I mean, like, what? Like, I'll be like, I don't want to work out with you.
So
I don't
listen,
want to talk to you.
if we working out, we got a workout to do. We don't need to take a picture after every set or take a video after every set. We don't gotta. When I work out, I work out.
Well, people want to see.
I'm not in here to go live and do a story the whole workout.
But then let me post something without him in it. Then we got a problem.
That part.
That's so funny.
I'll
tell you what.
You want to be in the picture? You don't. What you doing?
Right. You got to make up your mind.
Just tell you, I'm gonna take a quick picture. I don't need to hit the angles. I got angles all over. We got all types of angles.
So I would say I could work out with him here and there, but like every day or him being my like personal trainer, no, that's not no.
That'd be a problem when you got home. Yeah. Would you be mad at him still holding a grudge?
It just would be it's stressful. No.
So
I got it.
So there needs to be some separation, even in those things that you're passionate for.
Yeah.
There's a way to share that passion, but still maintain. I won't call it an identity, but a little bit of separation. So it's still that part of it is yours, right?
Yeah, we need space. We need a little space.
You gotta have that. You gotta have that to have a healthy relationship, to have a healthy marriage. You gotta have that.
Let's talk about that. So tell me more about Livin Proof 365.
Oh man, that's a lifestyle. So that's me in a nutshell, man. Because where I come from and how I was raised in San Francisco, latchkey kid in the '80s, kind of coming up on my own in the streets and just making it through the slums. Graduating from college, been with AT&T going on 19 years. Married for almost 10. Just successful, wealthy. Wealth comes in many forms. So I feel like I'm wealthy in all areas, and I'm living proof that anybody can do it. It just take hard work and discipline.
I love that.
I like that.
How would you apply that philosophy of Livin Proof 365 to marriage?
To marriage? Well, you gotta live it all the time. If you're married, you gotta be married all the time. You can't be married when you want to be married. Like when the lights is bright, you gotta be married when the lights is off. When you by yourself, when you're out with the boys, when you're on trips with your boys, when you're out with your girls, you gotta be married all the time.
Because you represent each other.
You represent marriage. You represent your wife. You represent your family. Your kids are always watching you. Other people are watching. Mm-hmm. And then of course, the haters, they always waiting for you to fall. So they watching, man. They got their telescopes out and their binoculars out waiting for you to not be living proof. So I got to be living proof 365, man,
That's right.
How about you, Davina? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no. No.
No, that's good. That's good. I mean, well, you chimed in.
I was about to say she chimed in.
Yeah. And here's the thing. When you have a couple that's been through life, been through some things, and so it wasn't like you guys just showed up and everything was all hunky-dory. There was a process, right? You talked about that process in bodybuilding. And you guys have that process as well. And I think that you talked about that paperwork in the beginning. You had to have that paperwork. And I immediately thought, like, in today's vernacular, everybody's talk about, I need to see the receipts for what you do. All right. So even in the beginning of a relationship, before that was even a phrase, Davina needed to see that receipt to make sure you can go forward. And it sounds to me like even in your relationship, that Livin Proof 365, that you are the receipt. You're showing people, hey, we are the receipt. This is what, a healthy marriage looks like. We're not perfect all the time. There's, we're passionate about something, but he's got to do it his way. I got to do it my way. And then we come back together and we love it together, but we might have to do it differently. But you keep showing up. And I like what T-Top said when it came to, you got to be married, not just when the lights are bright, but when it's dark. Because we all know there's some dark moments, even in marriage. And you got to figure it out. So I really love what you guys are putting down as far as what Livin Proof 365 looks like from a marriage standpoint as well. I do have a question that's burning. So did you train each other for your bodybuilding shows?
Did we train each other?
Yeah, I'm just curious.
She asked me stuff, but she'll make me video and then go upstairs. Go upstairs, I'm gonna do it by myself. You ain't telling me.
So here's the
she
thing.
want input, but then she don't want input.
It would be because he had already did it. He did it before me. So yeah, I had questions. I would ask him certain things, right? But it was certain things he really couldn't show me that he was thinking he was showing me, and I'm like, yo, you can't show me this pose unless you put these heels on, because it's not the same,
Okay.
And he had good advice. He knows his stuff, right? But sometimes it's just a little too much, and it's fall back, But
She said fall back.
It's that fallback. It's that space. But I'll tell you what, I do know that you two do. You do a lot of things really well together. But I want to bring up something. But before I do that, we're going to attempt to raise the bar, not just in your relationship, but for all of our viewers and listeners as well. There's a segment of the show that is sponsored by RaiseTheBarMarriage.com. And in this segment, we always attempt to give you one actionable item, at least one action, that you can start to implement before the podcast even ends, right? Something you can do to raise the bar in your relationship, in your marriage. And don't forget that BAR stands for belief, actions, results, because you have to develop that marriage mindset, develop a belief. That belief will dictate your actions, and those actions will eventually yield your results. So one thing that we want to highlight this time is how you maintain the spark, right? So how do you maintain the spark in your relationship? And one of the ways that I wrote down a whole list of things, but one of them is to plan a weekend getaway, to just spend some time and get away. And I bring this up because it ties into what I want to talk about with you two. And that is that you go way beyond the weekend getaways. I have seen you two take some amazing trips on vacation. I've seen you guys have been in Mexico. I think it was recently y'all were in Mexico.
yes.
Yeah.
And then you've been in Greece. Talk to us about how do you guys go about planning those getaways so you can maintain that spark in your relationship?
Well, we generally we'll plan about a year in advance for the trips and invite other couples. So, we always want to invite people along with the journey because it's good to have those trips and just get everybody's different perspective on marriage and their different vibes and, just learn everybody. And we generally got a close traveling group, and we people get added all the time. So,
Because are you in the group?
I'm not in the group. But I will say, can I let me finish, sis?
Yeah.
The invitation was extended. However, with school, it was just not a way to go. Okay, because she was finna jump through the
I'm sorry.
I saw her getting in her stance and everything. I'm like, okay.
I'm over here being King Petty, and I'm like, oh, wait, hold on.
King Petty, yeah.
And we invite a lot of people, and some people can make it. Some
we do
people
not
can't.
invite a lot of people. Let's be clear.
We know you don't invite a lot of people. I see it. Okay. And I'm not mad at it.
So
We
so you
invite
plan these
some-
out a year in
What'd you say?
advance or thereabouts.
Go ahead. What you say?
So you plan this about a year in advance.
Yes, a year in advance. Generally send out the information about the trip. That way you give everybody a chance to kind of, you can pay on stuff throughout the year, and you can plan your vacation in advance so you know you're going on vacation. A lot of times people try to last minute the vacations, and you end up not taking vacations. I think it's important.
That's right.
He's a planner. He's a planner. He's a planner.
And then I think the biggest thing is good to have those groups and couples vacations, but I think it's also healthy. Like she takes girls trips, and I think that's important because you gotta have that time for be with the boys, be with the girls, and then come back together. That way you got a variety of different trips, a variety of perspectives, a variety of conversations, because you can be going through something, and somebody could be going through something 10 times worse, and all of a sudden your situation is minute. So that's why it's always important to just, get different perspectives and different opinions on things.
That's really good because you sound like you're very selective in both routes. Like whether it's the individual trips or the couples trips, that you're very selective about who you allow in your circle.
Yeah, that's life, period, man. The circles get smaller.
That's true.
That's smart.
The circles get smaller.
Well, it's all about the energy and the vibes, right? Because that rubs off on you. So I'm trying to always be around good people, good vibes and stuff, because life itself is bringing on the other stuff that we can't get away from, right? So whenever I can choose the energy, I'm choosing good energy. So
That's right. Yep. We kind of talk about that too. It's important not just to have, like you said, about the energy, but also I want to be with someone who wants to be with their spouse, because especially if we talk about doing couple stuff, I'm not about to sit the whole trip listening to you talk about how he is on your nerve or how she is on your nerve or whatever. If we're together, our representation is marriage. And like you said earlier, I think Davina said we're representing each other. So, I want to be around people who want to be around or hang out with their spouse too. Not like we do need some space away. Let me tell you something. This is the funny thing about having space away. It doesn't even have to be a girls trip. Lovey was going to go get his glasses today. And I was like,
where the glasses at?
Here's his reading glasses. But Isaiah, first he didn't want to go, and then he changed his mind and he wanted to go. And so I was like, okay, well, let's catch Papa before he leaves, right? And so Lovey was like, well, he was saying something, and I was thinking to myself, you better not tell him he can't go, because I need space too. I want some quiet. Even if it's just 30 minutes, sometimes that's all it takes to, what Whitley used to say, relax, relate, release, So you need that time to just have a little bit of a divider. See, I'm not trying to go away on a trip. I know you're trying to send me away, but I'm not finna go yet.
no, I get it. We both work from home.
Ooh.
No business in the streets like that. I work from home. I only work from home one day a week.
Okay. Well, that day that he works from home, that day, sometimes I have to leave for a little break. Sometimes just go have a little break.
Yes, I get it.
Yeah.
No.
But other than that, yeah.
Well, that's real, and I think that's something that needs to be highlighted, because we get so caught up in doing and living life, right? Doing the things that we forget to relax. What did you say? Relax, relate. It was like Whitley
Release. From a different world.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. And we need to do that more often, even in our relationships, because it's just one of those things where we have to get recharged. It's just like the phone that everybody seems to be attached to all the time. You lose your mind if that phone loses its battery, right? You get that battery uncharged. But we need to do the exact same things within our relationship and for ourselves. Mm-hmm. So speaking of getting recharged, I think that people need to plug in to Livin Proof 365. Tell us how they can actually follow you, get in touch with you. Are you accepting clients? Where would people go to learn more about Livin Proof 365?
Well, I do have my website, livinproof365.com. I'm also on social media on Instagram and Facebook at Livin Proof 365. And that's pretty much my contact information. Right now, I'm doing clients virtually, and I teach groups in San Francisco at a nonprofit agency. I train young adults 18 to 26 to become city EMTs and go into the fire department as well. So I'm helping prepare the youth to be successful young people.
That's great.
That's huge. Look,
that is huge.
If y'all have ever seen the EMTs and firefighters running around with all that gear and this, that, and the other, they got to be fit. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at them thinking, ooh, they fit. No, this is the guy that makes sure they get fit.
Well, the difference is just not so. What I feel separates me from others is I work on your inside out, meaning your mental. So we also building routines, morning routines. We building evening routines. We changing mindsets. We dive into the why. We create mantras. We create vision boards. That way you can put everything together, and you got a reason. Because a lot of times these youngsters out here, and even adults, they don't know why they want to do something. They just want to do it. So you got to build that structure, just like a marriage, just like a building, just like anything. You got to build it from the ground up.
That's right.
I love it. Well,
so also, this is not Livin Proof 365, but Davina. So you have, don't you have like something else that you do too?
Looks by Dav. Her fashion is her passion.
I think I'm gonna go with I am a realtor. So you guys, anybody needs to buy a house, sell a house, investment property, contact me.
And what is your information?
You can reach me on Instagram as Davina the Realtor 365. Get it? 365. Yeah, if you just go there, my contact information is there. So yeah.
Can I interject, because she's so modest about her fashion, and I know that's her love.
Hold on just a second. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna need you, Miss Davina, to look at the camera and not at him. Okay, go ahead, T-Top. Finish.
So I just kind of want to blow up her looks by Dav, because she's really into fashion, and she does a great, awesome job with that, and she needs to really pursue that and follow her fashion page. She can get you fly, get you ready, get you tight.
So you've been holding out?
Okay, maybe.
I feel some kind of way now. So okay. So say it again. What is it, Terrence?
Looks by Dav.
Looks by Dab.
Dav.
On IG, Looks by Dav.
Okay, I don't have Instagram.
So you know what? I'm gonna put all this in the show notes. You'll be able to find livinproof365.com. You'll find is it Davina the Realtor 365?
Yes.
On Instagram and Facebook, and then we also gonna check out Looks by Dav on IG. And again, I'll include all of that in the show notes so you can have an easy link to get and follow this young, dynamic couple that are making things happen and living by example by Livin Proof 365 and all that they do. Look, we appreciate you too, and like we always say. At the end of just about every podcast, Until the next time,
Be blessed.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Married Into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. Please like, subscribe to, and review the show wherever you access it, and tell a friend about us. Visit marriedintocrazy.com and see how Snooks and Lovey can bless your marriage directly.